'Tis the season to be jolly, and few things make people happier than setting up and decorating a Christmas tree. Of course, Christmas has numerous traditions, but none are quite as popular as this one. Some people select a real tree to put up while others use a fake one, but no matter the choice, they are synonymous with the holiday. But how did this come to be? Trees have been used in rituals as decorations since ancient times, so it makes the source of the modern Christmas tree open to debate. Evergreens in particular were used as a symbol of hope in the dark months in anticipation of spring. People hung them over doors and windows. In many countries, it was believed that evergreens would keep away witches, ghosts, evil spirits, and illness. They would also hang them in observance of the winter solstice in connection with their gods. So it's not surprising that a spiritual meaning was attached once more to this current tradition that we now have. The custom was developed in Estonia and Latvia, and particularly in Germany. Many believe the modern Christmas tree originated in Germany. It is claimed that in Germany, in about 723, St. Boniface, the English missionary, encountered pagans prepping to sacrifice a young boy at an oak tree dedicated to the god Thor. Boniface took an axe to the tree, and when not struck down by their god, he proclaimed to the awed pagans that a nearby evergreen was their holy tree. Other sources report that a fir grew on the site of the fallen oak. Whether this story about St. Boniface is true or not, evergreens became part of Christian rites in Germany. And in the Middle Ages, paradise trees began to appear there. Paradise trees were branches or wooden frames decorated with apples. These were used in medieval German mystery or miracle plays that were acted out in front of churches during Advent and on Christmas Eve. In early church calendars of saints, the 24th of December was Adam and Eve's day. The paradise tree represented the Garden of Eden. It was often paraded around the town before the play started as a way of advertising the play. The plays basically told Bible stories to people who were illiterate. Christmas trees, as they came to be now, started around the late 1400s into the 1500s, when the paradise tree had more decorations added on it, like communion wafers, cherries, and later pastry decorations of stars, bells, angels, and so on. It even got a new nickname, the Christbaum, or Christ tree. Some early Christmas trees, across many parts of Northern Europe, were cherry or hawthorn plants, or a branch of the plant, that were put into pots and brought inside, so they would hopefully flower at Christmas time. If you couldn't afford a real plant, people made pyramids of wood and were decorated to look like a tree with paper, apples, and candles. It's possible that the wooden pyramid trees were meant to be like paradise trees. Sometimes they were carried around from house to house rather than being displayed in a home. Some trees, or at least small tops of them, or branches of fir trees, were hung from the ceiling mainly in some parts of Germany, some Slavic countries, and parts of Poland. This might have been to save space, or they just looked nice hanging from the rafters. It's a widely held belief that Martin Luther, the 16th century Protestant reformer, first brought a tree inside and added lighted candles. In one very common version of the story, while walking home one winter evening, Luther was amazed by the stars sparkling amid the evergreens. It was so beautiful that he went home and told his children that it reminded him of Jesus, who left the stars of heaven to come to earth at Christmas time. To recapture the scene for his family, he put up a tree in the house and wired its branches with lighted candles. Quite the beautiful fire hazard, eh? To be clear, though, the earliest known firmly dated representation of a Christmas tree is on the keystone sculpture of a private home in Alsace in modern-day France. The date of it is 1576. Now, to fast forward a little bit, by the 19th century, Christmas trees were a firmly established tradition in Germany, and as Germans migrated, they took the tradition to other countries, particularly England. There, Queen Charlotte, the German-born wife of King George III, set up the first known tree at Queen's Lodge, Windsor, in December 1800. However, it was the German-born Prince Albert and his wife, Britain's Queen Victoria, who popularized the tradition among the British. In December 1840, Prince Albert imported several spruce firs from Germany to serve as Christmas trees. But it was not until a few years later when periodicals such as the Illustrated London News Castle's magazine and the Graphic began to print images and describe the royal Christmas trees every single year. And that's when the custom of setting up such trees in homes actually really caught on amongst the general public in England, becoming a holiday staple. But how did it become a tradition here in America? Well, it was brought over to America as early as 1747, when Moravian Germans in Pennsylvania had a community tree in the form of a wooden pyramid decorated with candles. The first records of Christmas trees being cut for display here comes from the 1820s in Pennsylvania's German community. The entire custom was not really embraced at first because Americans saw it as an oddity and even a pagan tradition. So it's not surprising that, like many other festive Christmas customs, the tree was adopted so late here in America. A good example of this would be, for instance, many Puritans opposed the holiday, and officials of the Massachusetts Bay Colony actually outlawed celebrating Christmas. They disliked the holiday so much that they even closed their churches on December 25th. The Pilgrims' second governor, William Bradford, wrote that he tried hard to stamp out pagan mockery of the observance, penalizing any frivolity. It wasn't until the 1820s that Christmas got popular in America, and the country's first Christmas tree was reportedly displayed in the 1830s. The Christmas tree's popularity spread with the help of the influential magazine which we've discussed before, Godey's Lady's Book, which in 1850 published the 1848 illustration of the British royals. But the image of the family was altered to appear American. This and other efforts helped make Christmas trees popular in the United States by the 1870s. By the time the 1890s rolled around, Christmas ornaments were arriving from Germany and Christmas tree popularity was increasing in the US. Apparently, Europeans used small trees about 4 feet high, while Americans liked their Christmas trees from floor to ceiling. The early 20th century, Americans decorated their trees mainly with homemade ornaments, while many German Americans continued to use apples, nuts, and marzipan cookies. String popcorn was added to the tree's decoration after being dyed bright colors and interlaced with berries and nuts. Electricity brought about Christmas lights, making it possible for Christmas trees to glow for days on end the way that we know it now. With this, Christmas trees began to appear in town squares across the country, and having a Christmas tree at home became an American tradition. Christmas trees spread around the world, but the tradition began to have a detrimental impact on forests, especially in Germany. As a result, Germans began making artificial goose feather trees in the 1880s. These trees popped up in different countries, and over time the goose feathers were replaced by other things. One of the biggest changes took place in the 1930s when a manufacturer of toilet bowl brushes allegedly used surplus product to create an artificial tree. These bristle trees gained in popularity but were later replaced by aluminum and then plastic versions. In the United States, 84% of Christmas trees displayed by households in 2021 were artificial, according to data from the American Christmas Tree Association, while only 16% were live. So there you have it. Do you have a Christmas tree in your home? What do you decorate it with? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you next time.